Welcome back to Dealing with Life, where we talk about the news and we try not to cry about it. We're going to try not to bawl, try not to boo-hoo. You feel me? Okay, today we're going to talk about Jensen Huang. Nvidia, does that ring a bell? So grab a drink and a donut and let's get into it. Nvidia CEO, this is MSN.com. Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang met with Chinese trade officials in Beijing on Thursday, just one day after the U.S. government launched a probe into the company's chip sales to China. New York Times reported. The New York Times reported, and then MSN reported on the New York Times reporting. The visit marks a complex moment for the chip maker, whose business is caught between rising demand from China and tightening restrictions from Washington. Yeah, that's kind of what's going on. Everybody's freaking out about AI. The speculation is whoever controls AI controls the world. I'm going to be conservative and say like the next 1,000 years or something. 1,000 years. Changing my notes here. Keep that in mind right there. That's going to be important later. According to Chinese state media, Huang was invited by the China Council for the Promotion of International Trade, a state-affiliated body, and also held talks with the Vice Premier He Lifeng. I don't know who you are, Vice Premier He Lifeng. Huang reportedly said U.S. controls had significantly impacted Nvidia's business operations in China. He reaffirmed the company's commitment to the Chinese market, stating that Nvidia would continue to spare no effort to ensure its products comply with regulations. We regularly meet with the government leaders to discuss our company's products and technology, Nvidia spokesperson said. That's an Nvidia spokesperson, not Huang, apparently. The high-stakes diplomatic outreach comes amid growing pressure on the company on Tuesday. On Tuesday, U.S. officials informed Nvidia that it would require an export license for future chip sales to China, a restriction that could result in a $5.5 billion inventory hit. $5 billion? I'd be pretty upset. That's just the price of doing business, right? If they change the restrictions on your product internationally, you're going to take a hit. You got to comply with those restrictions, especially right now when we're in like a trade war with China, with the tariffs and everything that Trump put in. It affects the business, right? He's just spotlighting that. $5 billion, that's pretty big. That's a pretty big thing. Did you say something? What are you talking about? Are you talking about a day later, the House Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party opened an investigation into whether Nvidia had knowingly violated export rules, particularly in relation to sales to Chinese AI startup DeepSeek? Is that what you were talking about? You said that? You had that thought? Because I was thinking it too. Just, weird. Great minds think alike. DeepSeek. You guys use DeepSeek? Pretty cool technology, actually. The geopolitical friction is unfolding just after Nvidia pledged a $500 billion investment in AI infrastructure across the U.S., a move hailed by President Donald Trump's administration as the Trump effect in action. What do they mean by the Trump effect? The Trump effect is him putting the tariffs on people in the world and the big companies pledging that they're going to build a whole bunch of companies in the U.S. Now that's just pledging money. That doesn't mean they're going to spend it. That doesn't mean they have spent it. I'm saying, hey, I'm gonna build a whole bunch of facilities in your backyard, okay? And you're gonna make a lot of money. What I think is probably gonna happen is they're gonna build a bunch, maybe, but it's probably not gonna be anywhere near the 500 billion. I don't know. I'm just a guy over here on YouTube. I don't know anything, okay? I'm just reading the news. I'm just reading it. China has long been a vital market for the chip maker, though its share of Nvidia's revenue has dropped to its lowest in over a decade. In its last fiscal year, Nvidia generated $17 billion from China compared to a global revenue of $130 billion. That is a 114% surge from the previous year. Hey, there you go. China. Adding to the intrigue, Huang was recently spotted attending a $1 million per person dinner with former President Trump at Mar-a-Lago, further underscoring the political complexities surrounding Nvidia's future. Imagine a dinner, and the plate they're serving you is $1 million plate. You spent $1 million for that plate. What were they selling? I went to Ruth's Chris recently with my wife, and The steak, I'm not even joking, was the best I've ever had in my life. It was ridiculous. I didn't know steak could taste that good. So $1 million per person with this dinner, it's got to be some good dinner, you know what I'm saying? They better at least have bread rolls, you know what I'm saying? Better have that. Hey, this is Dealing with Life. Hope you had a good one. Look, if it's your birthday, I hope you have a good one. I said I hope you have a good one. And love you.